What is up, Breaking Bad fans? Kino here, and we are back with another Breaking Bad log. Today we're looking at the fourth episode of Season 2, Down. Now, we opened the episode with a continuation of the flash forward that we saw during the season premiere. The pink teddy bear is fished out of the pool by someone wearing a hazmat suit, which of course makes us think of Walt. However, we actually see that it's the police, as various items are placed into evidence bags. This includes what appears to be Walter's glasses, again an ominous foreshadowing to what awaits him at the end of the season. Back in the present, Walt meets with Jesse at a convenience store. Jesse, who's broke after the DEA took his money, asks for half of Walt's money as they're 50-50 partners. Walt, however, doesn't feel that he owes Jesse anything, and instead just gives him $600. Back at home, Walt cooks breakfast for his family as a form of apology. Without being asked, he tries to explain the phone call to Skyler as it was his phone's alarm going off. However, when his back is turned, she leaves without saying anything. When she eventually comes home, she's very cold and distant to him, and it's clear that something is wrong. Meanwhile, Jesse meets with his parents and their lawyer. He's told that his mother went to his house after her meeting with Hank. She ended up finding his meth lab in the basement, and they order him out of the house or they'll report him to the police. He pleads with his mom for another chance, but she refuses and tells him to turn his life around. Now homeless, he again calls Walt, who again refuses to help as he's dealing with his own problems at home. Walter, still being ignored by Skyler, tries to instead bond with Junior by teaching him how to drive. However, he insists that Junior use the correct technique of driving with one foot instead of two. This is hard for Junior, who has cerebral palsy, and he ends up hitting a traffic cone. Now, I looked it up, and it's actually not illegal to drive with 2 feet. The warnings against doing so come from some older models of cars, which would get damaged if both the gas and the brakes were pressed at the same time. However, in this case, it's more of Walter's perfectionism and refusal to compromise that ends up alienating him with his son. Meanwhile, Jesse continues to look for a place to stay. He tries to stay with his friend Paul, who used to play in his band Twat Hammer. You can actually see the music video for their song Fallacies in a webisode released online. However, Paul has grown up since then and is now married with a kid, and his wife tells him to kick Jesse out. Later, when he's at a payphone, his motorcycle is stolen, leaving him with literally nothing. With nowhere to go now, he sneaks into Clovis's repair yard in order to sleep in the RV. However, as he's climbing on top of a porta potty, he ends up falling in and gets covered in blue disinfectant and human shit. As he crawls into the RV to sleep on the floor, he cries as he realizes how low he's fallen. In the morning, Clovis sees the trail that Jesse left to the RV. As he still owes him money, Clovis kicks him out and decides to sell the meth equipment to pay off the debt. However, Jesse sneaks back in and steals the RV back, driving it straight through the gate. Back at the White House, Walt confronts Skyler about her behavior. She again refuses to react, which drives Walt crazy. The irony here is, of course, that that's what Walt has been doing to her the entire last season. She demands that if Walt wants her to forgive him, he needs to cut the bullshit and be honest for once. She can of course tell that he's been lying this entire time. Again, Walt gives an unconvincing lie, and she storms out. Walt goes to stop her, but sees that Jesse is parked right next door with the RV. He confronts Jesse, who apologizes but says he needs the money. Walt takes out his frustration at Skyler out on Jesse, screaming at him and demeaning him. It's very much a kick the dog moment, which we'll see throughout their relationship. Jesse finally has had enough and fights back, easily taking Walt down. It's interesting to note that Walt tells him to do it, meaning kill him. We've seen Walt's suicidal behavior before, and we'll explore his desire to die in future episodes. However, Jesse calms down, and they end up going into the house in order to split the money. However, despite agreeing to 50-50, Walt keeps an extra stack of bills for himself. Again, a sign of his greed and selfishness. With his family gone, he offers to make Jesse breakfast, which turns out to be kind of a nice moment, mere moments after they nearly killed each other. In the last scene, Skyler drives to a convenience store and buys some cigarettes. Despite being pregnant, she starts smoking in order to deal with the stress of her life. Now, this is one of those things that makes fans really hate Skyler, and I don't necessarily blame them. Skyler, like most of the characters on the show, is morally ambiguous. Over the course of the series, we'll see her take both good and bad actions. However, if we can still have sympathy for Walt, which many people, including myself, do, I think we can have some for Skyler, while still not completely approving of all her actions. Because, remember, blindly hating Skyler is a pleb tier opinion. And that's pretty much everything in this episode. It's very much a calm before the storm type of episode, with no real crime going on here. It's also a very difficult episode to watch, as we have our characters going through a lot of emotional suffering this episode. But we know that it's definitely going to pick back up moving forward, and I can't wait to review more episodes coming soon. There is no your half of the patrons. There's only my all of them. Russell, Sean, Heart of Markness, Logan, Clean, John Reyna, Jesse Sterling, Andrew Stewart, Ops Racing Media, Daz J. Kid, Conan Higgins, Sam Cedarlin, Don Lucania, Celery Man, and Jenna Marie Johnson.